In the mid 1900s, Earl Nightingale famously said, "You become what you think about." Right at the end of high school, about 10 years ago for me, this question began to circulate in my mind. Where does success come from? What does that process look like? How does someone become successful? And is that something that I can do for myself as well? Is that even possible for me? So through reading hundreds of books on the topic of reality creation, after practicing over 750 plus hours of meditation and visualization techniques, and through running personal experiments in my own life through travel and making money online, I've been able to learn what is meant here by this quote, "You become what you think about." Neville Goddard in the mid 1900s says, "Imagination creates reality." The Bible says, "As within, so without." So in 2021, I moved to Spain and I lived there for 2 years. That was something that I wanted. In 2022, I got started with my digital marketing service online and made my first 40K online with that venture. More recently, here in the first half of 2025, I was in Colombia for 5 months, traveling and working online. And as I was in Colombia, I was working on my coaching business that is built around these topics of reality creation, identity, and the subconscious mind. So I want to be real with you. I wasn't a coach just 1 year ago, but now I've had a 7-figure entrepreneur, a millionaire, pay me thousands of dollars for my coaching services. So when we think about this quote, "You become what you think about," that's an interesting one for me personally. If you don't know me, my name is Carter, and I'm the founder here at Life Design. I am a coach, content creator, and community builder here online. And if you do follow my work, you're most likely an entrepreneurial type of person. You have a business or you work in sales, and you're looking for a different type of success when it comes to your work. You are looking to experience this power for yourself. You're looking to experience this thing that has been referred to by all the great teachers and leaders of history, this thing with the mind, that you become what you think about. As a man thinketh, so is he. As within, so without. Imagination creates reality. And you've tried the hustling, you've tried the putting in more hours, the clocking more hours. You've tried a zillion different outside strategies of the templates, the courses, the Google Docs, the things outside of you, but it just seems to be getting you further away from your goal. And this is the exact experience that I had as well. It seems like more of an internal issue than an external issue. Now, why is that? This is the same thing that I see working with clients, and from my personal experience, it seems more like an internal problem than an external problem. It almost seems like you plant seeds of not enough time and you harvest more of not enough time, not enough time, not enough time. It almost seems like you plant seeds in here of once I get there, then I'll be successful. And you harvest more of once I get there, then I'll be successful. Once I get there, once I get there. And your success is never right now. Why is that? Isn't that interesting? You become what you think about. You become what you think about. This is the topic of this video. And in this video, we will cover why don't more people use this if it seems so straightforward. You become what you think about. As within, so without. If it seems so straightforward like this, why don't more people use this for their benefit? Number 2, we're going to cover how it works. And number 3, I'm going to give you a specific visualization practice that you can put into place right now to start putting these things to work for you. So that brings us to part 1, the modern mind. Take a moment, take a breather, get a sip. Here we go. The modern mind. So what's the issue here? If it can seem so simple, right? If it can seem so simple and straightforward, what is the issue? Why don't more people get what they want? Well, if we had to put the modern mind into a visual, it would look like this. I mean, it is a hoarder's house in there, is it not? See, when we think about this quote, you become what you think about, we don't know what we're thinking about. Through getting into this work, through working with clients and running personal experiments myself, I become aware of we don't actually know what we're thinking about. It's like a hoarder's house in here. There's too many thoughts. There's too much going on. We are overstimulated. So it reflects in our relationships. It reflects in our work. It reflects in anxiety and depression and restlessness, rushing. So we don't actually know what it is we're thinking about. We are so overstimulated that we don't know what we're thinking about. Now this is where it gets interesting. And if we did take inventory of our thoughts, beliefs, and inner stories, of these things that circulate in our mind here, we would find fear. We would find doubt. We'd find uncertainty. Find stories of guilt and shame and why we can't do it and I'm not capable. These are the seeds that are being planted. So it's very important that we organize our mind here in this way. We clear things out. Right? We don't want this to be a hoarder's house. We want it to be very clear of the thoughts and the seeds that we are planting into the subconscious mind. I hope you're enjoying this so far. So, I have a question for you. And I need you to be completely honest with me. Okay? Take a breather here. I have a question for you. Do you know what you're thinking about? Do you know what you're thinking about? Take a moment with this question and take inventory on this. What I've found from working with clients and my own experience, like I mentioned, most people don't know. Most people don't know what they're thinking about. There's too much going on in there. So what do we do about this? If we don't know what we're thinking about, what do we do about this? If there's overstimulation, there's too many thoughts, too much going on in here, how do we approach this? How do you experience this power for yourself? That brings us to part 2. Become like a gardener. Okay? Become like a gardener. What could this mean? So we've acknowledged the problem here in part 1, that we're overstimulated. There's too much going on in here, too many thoughts. Now part 2, to become aware of this and start to put this practice into place of you become what you think about, we need to become like a gardener. So, to become like a gardener, we are going to take inventory of the thoughts, beliefs, and inner stories that circulate in our mind. We need to take inventory of what's going on in here and become aware of the things that we're thinking about. We need to become aware of the environment of our mind and the seeds that we're planting into the subconscious mind. You are the gardener and your mind is the garden. And you are going to acknowledge these thoughts, beliefs, and inner stories that are in your mind. You're going to acknowledge how these same thoughts, beliefs, and inner stories from childhood, brought up into your adulthood, how they're bringing you certain results, and they've gotten you certain results up until this point. All throughout your day, check in with yourself to see what it is that you're thinking about, and to notice the emotions that go along with those thoughts. More importantly here, you want to get clear on what are the thoughts, what are the images, but also what are the emotions? What are you feeling all throughout your day? Is it abundance? Is it excitement? Or is it guilt? Is it fear? Shame? Neville Goddard from the mid-1900s has a great book called Feeling is the Secret. So all throughout your day, you're going to check in with yourself to see what is going on in your mind. And I drew for you a nice little picture here to explain what this process looks like. When we talk about planting seeds into the subconscious, when we talk about becoming like a gardener, to plant an idea into the subconscious, you need the thought and the emotion. The Bible says, as within, so without. To plant this seed, you need the thought and the emotion, and that's what creates reality. In other words, to become aware of what you're thinking about, what are you consenting to being true? This is a tricky one, because you'll notice that there's this program running on autopilot. And it's not good, it's not bad. It's just the way that you've been brought up and where you are right now. There's this program running on autopilot with familiar and comfortable thoughts, beliefs, and inner stories. So what are you consenting to being true about yourself and where you belong in the world? What are you consenting to being true? Dr. Joe Dispenza says in this space, when you combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, you can change matter. Now that's a bold statement. That is a bold statement, is it not? He's saying, with an idea plus a feeling, you can change matter. I mean, that's wild, but this is what quantum physics is telling us now, how everything is energy. So what he's saying there is thoughts plus feelings equal reality. What he's saying is desire plus higher emotions equal desired reality. So these are the things that you want to let marinate in your mind. You want to become aware of these, of the repetition of the fear, the lack, the uncertainty, those stories. And you want to begin to plant new seeds, new feelings, new emotions into the subconscious mind. So you want to begin to let marinate this desire that you have, this place that you're trying to go, these goals that you're trying to achieve, and the emotions associated with them. Let these visuals marinate in your mind day after day. Take inventory on what you're thinking about and plant the new seeds. This is another very useful visual when we talk about planting seeds into the subconscious mind. When I first came across this, it made me understand this process a lot easier, okay? So, you can see this big circle at the top here. The big circle at the top represents our mind. The circle below here is our body, obviously. We have a stick figure action. Below it, we have the vibration, which is the energy, the frequency that we're on. And on the right-hand side here is our results. So this visual ties a lot of things together. The quantum physics side of things, the subconscious mind side of things, energy, frequency, vibration. What we're saying here is we have a conscious mind that represents thinking. The subconscious mind is feeling. So depending on what we're thinking puts us in a certain state of feeling. How we're feeling is energy, is emotion, is energy in motion. That puts us on a certain vibration to get certain results. You can think of it like putting yourself on the right storyline to your goals, on the right lifeline. So we want to put these thoughts of our desires, of our goals in here. We want to match it with those elevated emotions, with the feelings of already having the thing. That's going to put us on the right vibration to experience that. Okay? Now, I went over this very briefly. There's a lot to go into just with this visual alone. But what we're saying here is we want to think and feel. We want to match the thoughts and the feelings. And that's how you plant it into the subconscious, to put you in that energetic state, to put you on that frequency. You become what you think about. Okay, let's take a breather here. All right, we need that. Get a sip, take a breath. We've gone over part 1, we've gone over part 2, and now we are getting into part 3. So part 1, we covered the problem, right? This quote, you become what you think about. If it's so straightforward, what's the issue? Well, the issue is we don't know what we're thinking about. There's too much going on in here, right? So part 2, we covered to become like a gardener, which means to take inventory of these thoughts, beliefs, and inner stories that you're planting into the subconscious mind with your feelings, okay? Now, we're going to tie this all together. This is a banger video already, and we're going to tie this together here, okay? So part 3, action step, live in the end. Live in the end. This is where you live from the end result you're looking to achieve. So like we just covered in that Bob Proctor mind diagram, we want to live as if the thing is already done. And this is a muscle to be trained in itself. So give yourself some patience with this one. If it's your first time doing this, right? Live from the end result. What does this mean? How can we put this into a practice that we can use right now? So to practice living in the end, to practice bringing this experience, your result, your achievement to right now, we need a few things, okay? Number 1, we need to define the desired reality of yours. So you need to get very clear on what is the thing you're trying to do? What is the goal? What does it look like? Where are you? Who are you hanging out with? Where are you living? What are you smelling? What does this experience look like? Get highly detailed. How do you walk? How do you talk? How do you behave in social situations? How do people respond to you? Get very detailed on the desired reality. What's the goal? Clearly write it all out. You got to take time to do that. Number 2, pick a specific imagined experience that indicates the completion of your goal. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets fun. So I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying this. Pick a specific imagined experience that indicates the completion of your goal. Okay? You defined your desired reality. You wrote it all out. Now pick an experience in that. For example, with my coaching work I work with entrepreneurs and sales pros. And a very common desire is to move countries, is to be a digital nomad, go live in another country, go live somewhere else, right? And work, make money online. And this is something that I've experienced as well. And this is a practice that I've used for myself. So an example here, you want to move countries, okay? A specific imagined experience. Well, an experience in that would be, okay, you're at the coffee shop. You're sitting at the coffee shop, you're smelling the coffee. You're hearing the foreign language being spoken around you. And you visualize yourself, you're sitting at this table, and there's chairs, and there's waitresses walking around. And from the inside, you live this experience. Now, visualizing is a muscle to be trained in itself. I've heard a lot of people, when they refer to meditation and visualization, they try it once and they think they can't do it or it's not for them. This is a muscle to be trained. You get better at it over time. You just get better at it. Your ability to do it strengthens. The pictures in here get clearer and clearer. It becomes more fluid for you, more natural. And just like going to the gym, this experience that you put in your head, that you live, it's going to grow on you like a muscle. It's going to strengthen like a muscle. Every time you do it, it's just going to become more defined, more natural. It's just going to become a part of you from the inside out. Okay? So, that's a great example there. Moving countries. Pick a specific imagined experience that indicates the completion of your goal. Like it's already done. You already have the thing. Perfect. Number 3. This is where it gets real. This is where you get the reps in. Every night before bed, live in the end. And a better way to put it is live from the end. Don't think about the end result. Live from the end result. Night after night, you sit down before you go to bed, close your eyes, and you live out this imagined experience right before you go to sleep. Over and over again, each time you paint it clearer and clearer with greater detail. You train this faculty of your mind. Develop the scene in your mind with greater and greater detail each session and train it like a muscle. So this is how you live from the end. And the subconscious mind is going to receive this message that this is what's happening now. The mind doesn't know the difference between what is being imagined and what's happening out here. So in a way, if you want to look at it like this, in a way you confuse reality to give you the thing that you want. You create the image, this experience in your mind with such great detail that as within, so without. So, review. Let's take another breather. There's a lot of information in this video. And I recommend that you go back and you watch these parts if there's any questions on it. We covered part 1, the modern mind, and how there's too much going on in here. To experience this power that so many great leaders have referred to as you become what you think about, we need to become clear of what things we're actually thinking about, these thoughts, beliefs, and inner stories. We need to organize things in here a little better. Part 2, we covered become like a gardener, where you take inventory of the thoughts, beliefs, and inner stories, and you take inventory on these ideas that you're planting into the subconscious to take form out here. Part 3, we put together a very specific visualization practice called Living in the End that you can put into practice right now. And that ties all of this information up nicely together and makes this video complete. You become what you think about. Now, if you'd like to go deeper on these topics, if you'd like to take this to another level, you can stick around for the last few minutes of this video, because I want to tell you about Life Design Coaching. This is the coaching program that I have for entrepreneurs and sales pros. So if you are an entrepreneurial man or a sales professional, and you're looking to go deeper on these topics of reality creation and work with me one-to-one, you can DM me info on Facebook or Instagram to learn more about my coaching. My client Justin here is a 7-figure entrepreneur in the digital marketing space. And when we first started working together, he reached a certain level with his digital marketing agency, scaling that past 7 figures. But he was dealing with these common stories, limiting beliefs, the hustle culture mentality, these things that he picked up from building his business to where he has it. He was also looking to shift into a different area of work that aligned more with his purpose. So now, after working together, he is now working on a brand called Reality Crafting, which is right in alignment with this work on reality creation and consciousness. So you can actually view more of my work with Justin on my YouTube channel here. There is a testimonial video, which you see the thumbnail of it there. So you can go on my YouTube channel, you can check out the conversation that we had for 30 minutes to learn more about Justin and really the one-to-one work that I do here. If you'd like to see more results on my coaching, you can check out the first link in the description below. That's where you'll see a one-pager with more results and more info on my coaching work. Feel free to message me on social media with any questions. And like I said, you can DM me the word info if you'd like to speak more about your current situation. Links are in the description below to my Facebook and Instagram pages. I would love to connect with you on there, and we will talk soon. Okay? Okay.